Welcome to Little Big Thumbs. My name is JP, aka Big Papa Thumbs, and today we are here to talk about a game called Keep the Heroes Out. This is a deck building dungeon defense game for 1 to 4 players that'll probably take about an hour to play. It is designed and illustrated and published by Brueh of Brueh Games. And what we're going to do in this video today is that we are going to take a peek at the components. We are going to show you how to play the game by way of playing a few rounds ourselves. And then I think that's about it. That's probably all we need to do with this video. So why don't we take a look at the table. All right, so here we are looking at the components of Keep the Heroes Out. I've already set up for one of the scenarios of the game so that we can jump right into explaining how this all works together mechanically. But before we do that, let's take a look at the components. The first thing we have is the monsters. And there are a variety of monsters to play as in the game. We have the faction that I've pulled out for myself. This is the poltergeists, the ghosts. We also have the ratkin with these cute mouse meeples. We also have, I think these are the imps. The imps are adorable with those purple meeples. And the skeletons, best looking skeletons around maybe if you like cute skeletons. The slimes, the slimers. And finally, this big red dragon here. So those are the factions, the monsters that players are going to be able to control over the course of the game. Now, as I said, we are going to be playing as the ghosts, the poltergeists in this game. Each monster faction is going to include a core kind of starter card as well as a starting deck of cards, which we'll get into momentarily. The starting card, the kind of core character card, includes a few key details. Number one, this is where and how many of your creatures, your tokens, are going to be starting on the map. We've got the number of meeples or tokens that you have available to you, the number of hit points they have, the number of cards in your starting deck, and their special ability, which we'll get to in a moment. Of course, this is Keep the Heroes Out, which means we also have heroes that we want to keep out, and those come in the form of this guild deck. And a guild card will feature one of 4 heroes. There are wizards and thieves and barbarians and, who am I missing? Archers. And they'll also be featured in the form of these tokens. These tokens here, which when heroes come to the dungeon, that's what they will wind up looking like. However, if you are interested in fancifying those tokens, the Kickstarter campaign also features these cool hero miniatures. Speaking of tokens, we have a variety of cool tokens. We've got hearts and coins and bones and traps and books and things. Lots of cool tokens to make use of. And of course, we've also got tokens that I've already set out on our board here. But before we get into those, the last component I think you need to know about are these big chunky tiles that make up the dungeon of each scenario of the game. And the scenario book I think comes with maybe 20 or maybe even 30. I'm going to say 20. I think it comes with 20 different scenarios that you can set up. And you'll just rearrange these tiles in the prescribed way to create your scenario. And so this particular scenario we've got set up here, there are treasure chests where the heroes are going to try to come and take your goodies and then trigger some bad things to happen on the other side. We won't look at those because I don't know what they are. We have these tokens here, which are portal tokens. If 2 of those get flipped over, you can zip back and forth between your portals. We've got this, which you just put onto the map in the appropriate space to tell you what the specifics of your scenario are and where they happen. And I think I think that might be it. I think that might be everything you need to know on there. Now, our particular scenario, we are playing the troll scenario, which is all about rent collection. The troll here, he needs to be paid rent anytime he comes out in the hero's turn, and he'll steal cards from you and from the other players if he has not paid his rent. So we've looked at the components, and now it's time to learn how to play the game, play a few rounds so you can get a taste for Keep the Heroes Out before we wrap things up. Let's go. The monster deck is comprised of this starter deck of cards as we talked about, and each monster player will start with 5 cards in hand. And those cards will feature icons like, for instance, draw a card from your deck. Take an action, take an activation, which means activating either your monster character card here, which allows, in this case, ghosts to walk through walls rather than the doorways that they normally go through. It also allows you the opportunity to activate any of the special actions on the dungeon tiles. We also have moving. So this is moving through doorways. This one is a melee attack, attacking heroes on the same dungeon tile as your monster. This one here gives you 2 options. You can either do this or this. The first one will allow you to place one of your monsters into a particular location. So this one in this case is the sword location, which I could place my one extra ghosty in this case either here or here. And my other option, if I don't want to do that or can't do that, would be to take this one, which is a single move, moving one meeple, one ghosty meeple in this case, and taking an activation. And so those are some of the common icons you're going to see in the game, and we'll encounter some more as we look at the offering here, the trade row, if you will. For instance, this card at the end here will allow you to activate a portal, flipping over one of these portal tokens, or take 3 activations. That seems huge. This one, draw a card, 2 movement. This one, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can use the melee icon on any of the ones that icon appears on. Over here, you get 3 things. You get to draw a card, place a trap, and get a coin. And finally, at the end here, we have an activation, or all of your monsters can take a move action, which is pretty phenomenal. Acquiring an offering card means you need to craft a card. And crafting a card means going to one dungeon tile, for instance this one here, and getting yourself a frog. So if you get yourself a frog, so we'll say this, get yourself a frog, and you then bring that frog over to this place here, this where you can activate here, you can craft a potion card by exchanging a frog. So a frog for a potion card. So discard the frog and take a potion card. In this case, we have 1 potion card in the offering. After every single monster turn, there will be a hero turn. And a hero turn involves going through this guild deck here and flipping over a hero card and doing what that hero card says. So the goal of the game, how to win the game for the monsters, is to get through the entire guild deck a number of times. Usually it's 3 times to win the game. The difficulty ramps up depending on the hero turn, whether the heroes will take 1, 2, or 3 guild cards activations all in one turn. And that can be devastating if you're playing on the harder difficulty levels. The game will end and the players will lose if the heroes manage to get to the main treasure location here, and they are able to open this treasure chest here, and to open it they need a number of heroes in the location equal to the number on the treasure chest. So if they get 4 heroes in here and they're all able to open the chest, boom, they win the game. And we, the monsters, the real heroes, we don't win. All right, enough jibber jabber. Why don't we just dive in? We'll take a few turns and you can see how it all works before we wrap things up today. The monsters take the first turn of the game. I think we're going to try to get more cards. So I am going to play this one here, which means draw a card from my deck and then do an activation, or do an activation and then draw a card. I'm actually going to activate my special power here, my ghosty power, and I'm going to move this ghost through this wall right to there. And I also draw a card from my deck, so I'm doing that, and I've got that card now. And I can play as many of these cards as I want on my turn. Let's do a move and an activation. So let's first do the activation. So we're going to activate this to bring a frog out, and then a movement. And so I will pick up that frog and I will carry it through the doorway into this room here, where hopefully I'll be able to transform it into an offering card. So why don't we do this? Let's go this one. So we'll draw a card. Okay. And then I'm going to activate this. So I'm going to discard that frog, and I'm going to get myself the potion card, which goes into my discard pile, and then a new card immediately flips up to replace it. And so I'm still going. I've still got 4 cards in hand. Strong first turn, but you see these ones here, because these ones are attack cards. They're not necessarily great to play on their own unless I just want to move around. Maybe we will do this one. No, we will do this one just for the move. We're going to move this ghost out of this region here. We're going to move again, and then I think we'll end it by doing an activation and another move. So I'm going to activate here to bring out a coin, and then a move action, and I think maybe I can move this one. Well, I guess so. I guess we could hang out together. Why don't we hang out together? 2 ghosts in a pod there. All right, and this last card, I'm going to hang on to it, but if I wanted to discard this card, I could sweep the offering row and get new cards. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hang on to this card for next turn, and then the final step of each monster turn is to draw up to 5 cards. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and so I'm out. My draw pile is empty, so that means I have to shuffle my monster discards and draw my 5th card. And that's the end. That's the end of the monster turn. And now we move on to the hero turn. And again, the hero turn is all about just flipping over the top guild card. And so we've got a thief coming out. And so here we see this icon here, which tells us that 2 thieves are going to come out, and they have to go into 2 different sword locations. So 2 thieves, 1 sword location, 1 sword location. And so they have 2 main things they want to do. Number 1, if they can, they're going to attack a monster, and if there's no monster, then they're going to try to open a treasure chest. And so this thief here would like to open this treasure chest, but there needs to be 2 heroes in there. So it's a little bit too hard to open, and that exhausts the thief. And the same thing happens over here. This thief tries to open that chest. Not enough heroes in there, so they exhaust. And then that card is discarded, and that is the entirety of the hero turn, unless I'm playing a more difficult, a higher difficulty, in which we would be doing 2 or 3 of these hero cards. So that means it's back to my turn as the ghosty monsters. All right, I think we're going to, I think we might do some punchy punch here. But maybe first I think I'm going to spend this, and I will activate and move. So I'm going to activate this location to put a coin down, and then I'm going to move over to here. So that card is used, and then I think we're going to do some punchy punch. So one hit on this thief. That thief goes away, and then I can move if I so wish. I'm going to split up that movement, this movement, and so the ghost is going to carry a coin with it, and it can carry one item, either one resource like a coin, or if we had a trap out, it could carry one trap. So the ghost has moved, and now we're going to move and attack. So the ghost is bringing that coin with it again. I'm going to attack this thief. Thief is gone. And now I'm going to play this card to draw a card and activate. So I'm drawing a new card into my hand, and I'm activating this space here, changing this coin into a weapon. And I've got one option for a weapon, so this card will go into my discard. And now at this point I've got two attack cards and this versatile card here. Oh, and we've always got to replace our card right away. I think maybe just to see it happen, I think I'm going to discard the remainder of my hand so we can sweep away all of these offering cards. So 5 new cards come out. And do this. All right, so I've discarded my cards to sweep that row. So now we're going to draw more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next time I need to draw a card, I will shuffle my discard pile, and now it is the hero turn. So let's see what we've got. Oh, we've got barbarians this time. Warriors, barbarians. Either way. And so those are also going to be going into sword locations. And when they land, they activate this. And this is to destroy any resources that are on the tiles. So one goes here. There are no resources to destroy. One goes here. There are no resources to destroy. If it had landed here, for instance, this coin would have been discarded by the barbarian's action. But now the barbarian is in the space, and they each have ghosts to attack. And so we've got a ghost, and so they'll each attack, and the ghosts only have 1 hit point. So this barbarian, boom, does a hit, exhausts, and my ghost leaves the board. Same thing happens here. And because they're exhausted, the warriors or barbarians will not try to open these chests here. And that's the end of that hero turn. And now my ghosts have been wiped off the board entirely. So I am relying on finding a card that will allow me to place a ghost back on the board. So let's see if we got one. Ah, thank goodness. Okay, so we should start with this one. So I can put a ghost out onto a sword space. And so I think maybe we'll start over here. And so that card's been used. And now, let's see, do we have an attack card? Yes, we do. So let's attack that barbarian. And so, boom, barbarian gets attacked and removed from the board. And now I can also move if I so desire. I can move one of my ghosts. I've only got one ghost. I think we better go over here. And so that card's been used. And I think let's do this. So this one is draw a card and activate. So I'll do the activation first to put a coin down, and then I will draw a card. I don't have any cards in my draw pile, so the discards get shuffled up. And we'll draw a card. There we go. Okay. This card should have been played. Right, let's draw another card. Draw another card. Okay, so now I can bring another. I don't have any. Okay. I can bring another ghost out onto a sword space, so either here or here. Let's go there. And I think I'm going to discard my hand again and bring out more cards because I just wasn't crazy happy. I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of those other cards. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we've got a new icon here, which is this. This is ranged here. So this one, I can either flip over a portal token, or I can take 3 ranged attacks. Well, that's exciting. That's more appealing. I like that. So how do I get a scroll? A scroll, I have to get a book and then turn it into a scroll to craft a scroll card. So that's notable. All right. And so then to end my turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards drawn. And now we'll go for the next guild card, which is, oh, we've got our troll. Our troll has come out. Our troll either wants rent or is going to force the players to discard a card and then also draw another guild card. So let's look at our treasure depot here. Okay, so we've got the rent for the troll. So the rent is paid and the troll does not punish us any further. And that's it. That is the troll's turn. And so why don't we take one more turn, one more monster turn, one more hero turn, and then we'll wrap things up. All right. So I've got my 5 cards to start my new turn. And so can we get over to that book place? Let's see. Oh, we got lots of boots. Let's go for it. All right. So we're going to take a move, and we cannot use the attacks, so that's gone. And then we'll make a move, and we will attack that warrior or that barbarian. And that's that. And then we will do this here. So we'll make a move, and we'll activate this space to put a book down. And we've still got 2 moves, so we can use all these cards and actually get it done. So let's pick up that book. Remember, you can carry 1 item when you move, so that's a move. We cannot attack. And we've got a move and an activation. So we will move, and we'll activate this space here, discarding the book to acquire and craft a scroll card, which we have these 2 options here. And I think, laying traps is nice. Shooting from ranged might be nicer though. So I'm going to place that card into my discard pile, draw a new card. We'll move on to the hero phase. So hero phase, here we go. Oh, okay, we've got 2 wizards. And why don't we in fact do 2 final hero cards to show you what a more difficult turn might look like. So here we're going to take 2 wizards, and they're going into the magical room. So one shows up there, and the other shows up there. So this one here, we can't find a hero in this room, but there is a treasure chest. So the wizard will try to open it, but because there's not 2 heroes, it's not able to, and it exhausts. Over here, though, this wizard also doesn't find a hero to attack. It does go to this chest, and this chest just has a value of 1. So the wizard is exhausted, and the chest is opened. And if there were any resources, if I had left a book in this room, it would have been discarded by this action, but instead, that chest just goes away. In order for these heroes to be reactivated, an active hero needs to move into their space. So, for instance, this wizard moved into here, then the wizard activates every other exhausted hero in the room. And so that's how those heroes wind up getting back to business and doing damage. The special action for the wizard is that if there are any heroes stuck in this dungeon here, and this is a special action I didn't actually explain earlier, but you can, on your turn, draw 3 cards into your hand and draw a random hero card and put that hero exhausted into the jail. And so that's a great way to get more cards into your hand and extend your turn. But if a wizard shows up in there, the wizard breaks everyone out of prison. And that can wind up being a very devastating turn for the monster players. So we finished with this one because that's not happening. And we'll do one more hero card to show you what a more difficult turn looks like. We've got archers are showing up now. So archers are showing up in these bony X rooms. So we've got one showing up there, and the other bony X room is there. And what they do is that they're going to fire a ranged shot into a diamond room. And so the diamond room is there, but there's no monsters in there, so those hits don't actually land. The archers are not strong enough in numbers to open up the chest, so we exhaust, and we exhaust. But now you can see we've got 4 heroes out on our map with more to come, and we just don't have enough ghosts at this point to clear them out. So the game is about to start becoming more challenging. So that is Keep the Heroes Out. If you like cooperative games, if you like sort of tower defense, dungeon defense in this case, if you like that sort of experience with the option for a solo game, I highly encourage you to go check out the Kickstarter campaign for Keep the Heroes Out, which as of this recording is currently running. I'll leave the link to that campaign in the description below this video, so you can check that out for yourself. This game is lots of fun. I've played it mostly solo, but also in multiplayer experiences, it has been a blast. There is minimal text, no text actually, aside from the rule book and the scenario book. So this is an easy one to introduce to younger players, and because it's cooperative, you'll be able to help each other out throughout the experience. And so that's what I have to say. If this is a game that's interesting to you, make sure you check it out on Kickstarter, and that's about it. Aside from wrapping things up, which is when I say whether you have little players or big players, make sure that you're playing games that make your thumbs go way up. Bye for now.